One of these guys is wasting their time. The other one, not so much. Join me over the next couple of minutes and I will show you how throwing the ball can make you a better player. Good evening, Land Golf Academy members, and welcome back to another episode. And today's episode, we're going to talk about how throwing a golf ball can make you a better player and a better practicer, if that's even a word. And if that's not a word, it is one today. So you see me on the practice range here. I'm not saying I'm the savant of throwing, but at least I know how to throw a ball somewhat okay. What we can tell about this throwing motion is the weight distribution, angular momentum, and just releasing at point of impact. So if you look at this motion here, first of all, I got to come up with that as a new dance because I'm not sure what that looks like, but I'm sure TikTok will love it. See that big rotation? Angular momentum's holding but the arm position, and then it goes that release. Now, I personally have an issue with throwing my hands at it, and it stems back to when I was a child, swinging with persimmon-headed clubs, which was very heavy for me, so I had to pick up the golf club, loop it back around, and flip it through. So I'm still stuck with that even as an adult, a very young adult, I might say. Actually, not that young, but you can see that rotation is there. I'm trying to avoid releasing my hands too soon, and I want that golf ball to go out to the right of my target to kind of delay that motion. So if we move on to the next one, you'll see I'm doing this now in a golf position. Now the whole point of this is to transfer that knowledge that I'm trying to impart to my golf swing through something that's a little bit more familiar by throwing a golf ball. Now the first couple of attempts here, you can see my hands, there goes that flip, and where goes that golf ball? Left side. So I don't want to do that. I want to feel like it goes to the right side. So you'll see me in the next motion here. I'm really going to focus on doing it without a golf ball and purposely rotate while keeping my palm open and open as long as I can. So I'm trying to transfer that feel. We're going to do this a couple of times, and it's always a good idea to do it a few times and transfer that knowledge into your golf course swing. Now let's see how that translates with a ball in my hand. So I'm still trying to hold that palm open as much as I can while I rotate through, and that is more of the motion I want to try and have, where the ball just disappears behind my head here or on this side and comes out because it went to the right side. And that is the goal. So can we do it with a club in my hand? Let's try it without a ball first, and this is how I want to recommend everybody practice. You do a few motions, you put the golf club in your hand, you try and duplicate that motion but without a ball in front of you, because that ball will pick up your old neurological system and your old habits will come back all of the time. Now we take a look here. When I take that club back without the ball in the way, if you look at this position here, we can see my club head is out in front of my hands, which is what I want, because my hands are going left of my club face, which means my path will straighten out. My club face is still releasing because that toe is up in the air, so I'm releasing correctly. My club for a feeling is much higher while I haven't completely turned over my hands. So this is the feeling I'm going for. So again, we're coming on down, hands go left, and my club face almost feels like it's staying out to the right, trying to delay my flip. But what do you think will happen when I put a golf club in my hand and take a swing? So let's see this very next swing, and here comes Mr. Neurological kicking in. And who do you think I'm going to look like? Oh, here we go. There goes my little loop that I used to have. It's getting better though, but watch this. There goes the right hand already. That path is going to go left because my hands are really engaged, and boom, look at that flip. So this is not what I want to happen. But you can see now that club is much lower. I have flipped. My golf ball is squirting out to the right. Now this is a junior club because that's all I had at the moment. So I'm going to blame it on the shaft. At least I have something to blame it on this time. But most likely it's either a pull hook or a shank. And yes, I did say that S word. And no, I don't like hearing it. But you can see the motion as soon as I put a golf ball in. Excuse me, as soon as I put a club in play. Guess who comes out? Mr. Neurological. Now we're going to take a look at side by side to see the good guy and the bad guy. We're going to look at this motion here. So takeaways similar. The guy on the left is the one actually hitting the golf ball. Top of the swing, you can already see my loop is getting there. And this is due to the fact that I have momentum based. It's a further effort. The guy on the right is just going through some motions. Once we come down into impact, we can already see this is a higher, steeper plane. This is a little flatter. It's connected to my right forearm sooner, so I can just basically hold that, turn, strike with my body, and release it naturally while my path on my hands goes a little bit higher, where the guy on the left is already going to release too soon. There goes that flippy hand. You can see my right hand is really getting engaged. My left hand here is just kind of passive and holding on. And as a result, I strike the ball a couple frames sooner than I should with the guy on the right. And there goes that flip. Look at that release point. That is just horrendous. And as we see the guy on the right, this is what I'm going for. So if we back it up, that's where I am. This is where I'm going for. Big difference. Look at the tilt. This one I'm staying in my spine angle better. This one the right shoulder is really covering and my weight distribution is a little off. You can see my footwork, my knees are off balance. So the guy on the left has been playing golf for 40 years and is trying to get rid of an old habit forced by equipment issues. The guy on the right is good. He's trying to get the motions through, but guess who Mr. Stubborn is? The guy on the left, he will always win, and that's who you have to go against. So my recommendation is you have to do this outside of the golf course, outside of the range, at the house. Do plenty of home drills, 300-400 if you can a night, and you think that's a lot, but it takes about 3,000 repetitions to create a new habit. But about 30 to 40,000 repetitions to delete an old habit. Depends on how deep it is been ingrained in you. So some of you might not be alive long enough to get rid of it. So choose your wars wisely and focus on short game sometimes. But to help put this in perspective, I'm going to play my swing 50 times in a very short span. And I want you to watch. I want you to see what happens with the path and enjoy some nice music. And if now's the time you wish to turn off, don't worry, hit that like and subscribe if you can. That really helps the channel grow. But if you want to stick around for the next 45 seconds to a minute to see my 50 swings and see what it's like and watch that path, which one do you think's better? Fairways and green.
Bing, bing, bang.